you'll save 60% because you'll get 3 months for the price of one when you join the iRacing and the world's premier online racing simulation. That's a $30 value normally for only 12 bucks, and you get 3 months out of it. That's a good deal. I promise you it is.
Yeah, well,
Um,
and we also talked about before, if you're going to join in, don't sign up
yeah,
for a big, long, extended period of time. See if you like it first. Like, don't drop all that money down. So here's the perfect opportunity. You want to try it out. It's super cheap, and you'll have 3 whole months to see if it's for you. So
yeah,
I like it. These are good deals for the newcomers. I like these ones.
yes. And 3 months is plenty of time to try out iRacing in case you were like, oh, I don't know if that's enough time or plenty of time. But if you join right now, you can, of course, be ready to experience Monza next week, the Tundra, and the new Chevy Silverado. Because even though your license class won't necessarily be up to Class C, you can still buy the trucks and enjoy them in hosted rooms and tested rooms. But this offer expires on March 31st, 2015, and is for new members only. So that's for those of you that we were already talking to, and cannot be combined with any other offer. To do this lovely promo code, you need to use PR dash new email 22615. So PR dash NEWNM, nope, not N, EMAIL 22615. When you create a new account at iRacing.com/membership, just enter the promo code in the box, click go, enter my email address to refer me, and then complete the checkout. If you're
Yes.
having problems creating an account, you can email iRacing at support@iRacing.com.
Yes, you can still use the code or referral box when you are using a promo code. So keep that in mind.
Yes.
Does not cut down on our cut of the stash. Even if you're spending less money, we still get our
We
ten
still get our
bucks.
millions.
A side note from again, we are iRacing fans doing an iRacing podcast. We are not business people on their end, and I am going to suggest that if you do sign up for that deal, do not immediately go out and start buying tracks and cars and whatnot, unless there's one very, very particular thing that you wanted to try out. Try the service for what they offer for free first, to make sure, before you sink any more money into it, make sure that it's what you want to do. I'd hate to see somebody jump in, on this deal, buy a bunch of tracks, and then realize that they didn't actually like it, or they didn't have the time for sim racing, or their equipment wasn't up to snuff, or whatever.
Yeah,
So,
and the most one that Trevor said there is your equipment being, because I mean you don't need the world's greatest computer, but you do need a computer that will run your frames per second at much better than 15. Because I know that some people join and run 15 frames per second, which is way too low. So that's a good point about, at least in your computer world, you would like to test it out and make sure that, and test it in a race. Don't
mm,
just jump into practice and be like, hey, I'm getting 90 frames per second, because that's going to come down a considerable amount when you jump in a race. You have a bunch of cars on the track, and if you have the grandstands and the crowd turned on, it's going to come down a lot. So test it out.
yep. Let's see. So, one last item in our backwards show before we let you people off into that fair night. Uh, Man, well, again, we expected this. There was a lot of stuff coming up, but we just cannot do a short show. We just have too much to talk about.
But again, nobody ever complains except for you.
I feel bad. But then again, the podcasts that I enjoy are the ones that are the longest. So, that I guess it all ties into, you know, you do what you know, man. And I'm a storyteller. That's what I am. I'm not a newsreader. I'm not a talking head on a newscast. I'm not Brian Williams. I tell the truth. But,
You like bringing up Brian Rumors, don't you?
I don't know. There's something about him. I just messed up all of the release notes. It just says now, it says Trev in the
Here,
news
wait, wait.
or.
Don't touch anything.
Fix it. Fix it. Fix it.
Hit the undo button up there.
Well, I suppose that would make a lot more sense now, wouldn't it? Oh, whew.
Woo!
Okay.
Okay.
Crisis averted.
Man, now we
That's
can
it.
continue going backwards.
I tell you. The last thing we will bring up to you guys, and we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, but we are going to be doing the iRacing Today radio show fun races, and they'll be coming in, as of currently planned, in April, which is, also the month of my wedding anniversary. So if you want to give gifts, that's great because, mostly for my wife because she lets me do the show. So, you should give gifts to her. Say, hey, thanks. Anyway, we're going to be trying to do those up in April. So send us your ideas via the normal and proper channels. Although I really like Chad's idea of throwing in the Monza Oval in there as a bonus for those who happen to pick it up. Because I mean, hey, maybe we'll drive on that thing, and then be all like, yeah, you know how we said there was like a section that was just unscannable because nature had taken it back over. There's just a big hole there, and they just put a bit of a ramp. So you just have to jump it every time. Like there's nothing rendered there. There's no track. There's no nothing. Just a black hole.
I think it should just be the grass so that when we drive through there, it makes it slick. You know?
It's like, hey, we're driving along here at 200 miles an hour, but there's a little bit of grass there. We'll be fine. Just keep the wheel straight. Be fine.
Yep. All good.
But anyway, so please send us your ideas and let us know what you think, and if some ideas. I mean, we've got some ideas what we're going to do, but we want your
Stop
ideas.
doing that. You're going to screw it all up.
I fidget. It's what I do.
You've never done this before. It's because we're going backwards, isn't it?
It is. I don't know. I have to remind me that we're at the top because we've been talking for 2 hours and we're still at the top. So I need to remind. Here we are.
By the way, this is our 89th show.
Yeah, welcome to the 89th episode. Of the show. So let's see. I think the only thing is I was just going to mention a slight programming note. We're not sure if we're going to have a show next week. Just keep an eye on our Twitters because we ended up with this show so late because of my weird travel schedule and various other commitments on both of our ends. We're doing it so late, and we've got and I'm on the road again next week, and the build's coming out on the 10th probably. But before we do the show, I wouldn't have a chance to try it out anyway because I'm away from my computer. So we may or may not have a show. Just keep an eye on the Twitter. If there's enough to report, if we have some stuff to bring up, then we'll have a show. If not, then we'll just kind of save all the new build news for the following week when we can talk about it because we'll have had a chance to try it out and everything like that.
Yeah.
So just keep an eye on the Twitter and we'll let you know, and our website and Facebook and all the regular places where you get your information. So, and man, I've got a lot of things to add to the show notes tonight. I love how you say, we'll put that in the show notes. We'll put that in the show notes. It's like, well, I'll put that in the show notes. That's, I have to build the post. I have to remember I have 15,000 tabs opened up in Chrome right now in order to make sure that I remember everything I need to put a link to in there. So, but with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that'll about do it for this week. Big thanks to all of you out there for listening. Of course, we really, really appreciate it. We honestly, truly do. Remember, the show is available for download on iTunes and Zune under the podcast section, where we would really appreciate a review to help us get the word out, if you don't mind. Keep in mind, with iTunes at least, that the reviews are region-specific. So if you're in, the UK or Australia and you haven't put a review in, just because people have been putting reviews in the US store does not mean that translates directly over to you guys. So make sure you check. Maybe your region doesn't have any reviews for us, and that you'd be the first one to say, hey, you like racing? I don't know, these guys seem to talk about it occasionally. So, give us a review. Help us spread the word. The show is also available on YouTube and Twitch over at Ratface Productions, and that'll be mirrored over on Chad's channel, which is It's Chadillac. You can check out the website for information, archives, links, and the polls you mentioned on the show over at iRacingTodayRadio.com. Give the show a like on Facebook, the old blue thumbs up, by searching for the iRacing Today Radio Show on the Facebook, of course. And as I talked about, follow us on Twitter I am at iRacing today, and Chad is at It's Cadillac. Talk now.
Right
I'm
now?
waving. He can't hear me. Chad, it's your turn.
Okay, so I've got to read it like this. Turn first, the in
Oh,
one rarely is race the. I had to do that. You knew it was coming.
all right.
I had to.
Back on schedule.
Please email any questions, comments, and poll suggestions you may have to feedback at iRacingTodayRadio.com. We've been having a lot of people talking this week to us, so
Yep.
appreciate that. And of course, feel free to add myself and Trevor as friends on the iRacing.com website so that you can come and side draft the heck out of us when the new build comes out with the new draft. But if you're not on iRacing, remember you can take advantage of that sweet deal for 3 months, $12, using that promo code we mentioned earlier that I misspelled accidentally. But just rewind your podcast to get that promo code. It'll probably be in the show notes too. So that's 15,001 things that Trevor has to do on that. But if you do join, refer Trevor or me in the referral box when you do join, which is ratface@gmail.com for Trevor, iRacingLegend@gmail.com for me. But until next week, ladies and gentlemen, remember that the race is rarely won in the first turn.
But it is often lost there. Good night, and may the Fords be with you.
Toyota!
Night, everybody.